welcome back, and we're moving into our final conversation for today as we talk about an upcoming conference focusing on GIS technology. And with us, we have two representatives of TBSL. We have the Managing Director, Loretta Palacio, and we have Fallon Santos, who is the Operations Manager. Good morning, ladies, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
It's good to be here.
I was saying earlier in the show that I feel that GIS has been so widely discussed in Belize that people begin to know what we're saying when we use the acronym. But of course, it is always important to be able to talk about what it is for those who still aren't fully acquainted. So let's talk about what this technology involves.
Sure. So GIS stands for Geographic Information System. It's a framework for managing, organizing, analyzing data. So it comes from a geographic, I would say, perspective. It's latitude, longitude. So we are familiar with all kinds of data, but the difference with GIS is that it has a spatial component, a location component. We're familiar with latitude and longitude when we hear about the weather or when we know how far the tropical storm is or the hurricane is.
Yes.
So every information, where Channel 5 is right now, has a latitude, longitude. And information can be gathered on this building, the building type, the amount of people who occupy here, and stuff like that. So, and then we take those layers and it allows you to visualize in a very interesting way. So if we look at the screen, we're seeing roads, land use, boundaries, elevation, there's flooding in one area, and one area might not have flooding because it's higher ground.
Yeah.
And so GIS allows us to see trends, patterns, and relationships. We see there the low, I would say below 1 meter, 0 to 1 meter in Belize, so you know where the areas that are low-lying.
These are the low-lying areas.
Right.
Wow.
So this one is not dynamic, and we have it dynamically available, but just to give you a perspective that GIS is not only about dots on a map, where the store is, right, or where the supermarket is. It's also about we call them polygon areas and looking at development issues.
Yeah.
We have a heat map that we can show as well. It could represent crime. It could represent dengue outbreak, right?
So what indicators are used for this?
So that, I think, if I recall, I think this is number of stores in a specific area, I think.
Wow.
And so you are looking at the heat map, and it can represent anything. It could be crime, it could be murders, it could be insurance companies, it could be number of schools in a given area. And so that heat map, again, a different representation.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't have to be a dot on the map, but it shows us information that we can use to make decisions.
So it's really taking what would be hard data and making it also in a way that people can comprehend it better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have a lot of information on our computers,
Yeah.
in databases just sitting around, and we have to print tables and PDF files and to try to make sense of
Yeah.
it. But when you put it in a GIS, you can see it. For general elections, we have some maps that we'd like to show.
Yeah.
There are like 7 or 8
Yeah.
different general elections. And imagine if you want to try and see this information in a table. So you look at the different constituencies, you look at the numbers of, I think it's voter turnout we're seeing from 1984 all the way to 2015. For different, the 31 constituencies. We also have one that shows the results, like over I think it's 8 elections, I believe. All right, so these are live maps that we just created it's an app actually, and we put the information to show that, okay, PUP won by 7 to 21, UDP had 21 seats, and so forth. So those are live data map that they're looking at numbers.
This is the future?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
It is the future.
Yeah. Well, and I think what it does is it allows for a very important area to be utilized. We are visual people.
Right.
And where once upon a time, maybe you had to hire an artist to draw something for you, computer technology allows you to be able to create things using the hard data that is available. If we want to look at concentration of bars, let's use that as an example.
Yes.
Imagine what that would look like visually as well.
Giving your example, for example, we have the distribution companies.
Yeah.
And you have the stores layer.
Yeah.
And I'm selling beers. I need to know who's selling my beers and who's not selling my beers.
Yeah.
By me knowing who's not selling my beers, I know I need to do more marketing there. And that is what this visualization does.
Yeah.
And you know, companies around the world use GIS to do their gap analysis, like what Fallon is saying. You
Yeah.
want to see where your gaps are. How can you do gap analysis if you're not using a GIS technology?
See, let's use this as an example, because this is cool. If I want to open a store and I say to myself, and I look at all the data and I'm trying to figure out where I want to go, I can look at this map and decide where I'm going to put my store, because based on proximity, there are certain areas that are underserved versus overpopulated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're saying, okay, there are less stores in this area. And you know what, Marlene, earlier we showed that layer, the layers. Then we could say, let's bring on the layers for the population.
Yeah.
Because population then comes into
Yeah.
play. If you're starting a store for sneakers for teenagers,
Yeah.
we've geocoded the data from SIB, Statistical Institute of Belize. So you layer that now on top of the stores, and then you see,
Yeah.
as I said earlier, patterns, trends, relationships, and say, okay, you have more intelligence.
Oh,
So we talk about location intelligence. That's what we're going to be discussing next week. That's the population, one of our dashboards as well.
You spoke about layers. The grid is part of an international grid?
Well, the thing is, we have a base map that's available in ArcGIS, in the ArcGIS software, the ArcGIS platform, which is the
ArcGIS.
product from Esri. So Esri is...
You lost me now.
Yeah, so let me
GIS
say...
is the software, ArcGIS is our brand.
our platform.
Yes.
Yeah, so Esri is the world's leading mapping and GIS company. So you go to France, you go to Venezuela, Esri is the leading, like you see Microsoft leading in office productivity software. So we are the Esri distributor in Belize. And so Esri developed ArcGIS. They're based in Redlands, California. And so we've been promoting, Marlene, Channel 5 has supported us, highlighted our educational events and our conferences as well to promote this technology. So there's a base map that has roads, and you have the various towns and the populated areas, but you add your data to it. But we also create data that is helpful to our customers, because we have government people using it, NGOs, private sector using the data.
So you've been working in educating people for quite some time. I know with the past few elections, you've worked along with Elections and Boundaries as well. Now, tell us about some of the innovative uses since the introduction of GIS into Belize that you have seen with clients that you have, or even persons who perhaps are rolling it out as a part of their business.
There's several, and they're going to be at the conference. Some of them.
Like I know some people use it for tracking too with their fleets.
some tracking, and we have Belize Electricity Limited that uses it to distribute power, because the BL needs to know where its poles are, its transmission, distribution system, its customers. So BL will be presenting at the conference next week.
Yeah.
We have customers in the conservation industry, the Statistical Institute of Belize. They're doing a lot in terms of upgrading their platform right now, because they're preparing for census. So we took this data from a spreadsheet and we geo-enabled it. So this is like a spreadsheet you normally get with 400 lines, right? Or 600 lines.
This is far more palatable.
Okay.
than looking. Wait, because and that's one of the. I went back to us being more visual as people. That's just what we are exposed to and inundated with.
We did the population, and we did the households too. Where you can see the enumeration districts, meaning
So
this
that's
area.
Creole, Mestizo, Maya in blue, Garifuna in yellow,
And Creole in yellow.
and other
In orange. Yeah.
Yes.
Colorblind.
One of the things that we see a lot in use in Belize right now are drones.
Yeah.
Beautiful videos, beautiful photos, right? Drone images are using GIS. So you take the drone image and you put it into the ArcGIS drone software. And let's say you have 30 images, which is what we had for the Yarborough area. Did a flyover.
This is 30 images
And this
in
is
one?
30 images. And our technician took it and just dropped it into our software, and it stitched it like that, right? And then we can now do planning for flood, looking at digital surface model.
So that's one of the
digital
layers
terrain
there.
model, right?
Yeah.
So you want to do flood. Like if you're looking at this as a village near the river, right? You can look at building footprints. Let's just say those are not. Yeah. So they're buildings. You could see, right? So you do analysis for planning and for decision making using this technology. So we want to tell our Belizeans, listen, drone is not only for pictures and videos. Drone is for serious planning.
Yeah.
Right? As well, apart from the videos. And so the conference is 2 days.
Yes.
It's the Belize Esri Conference. It's our 7th. And Channel 5 has been covering. And Fallon can give us more information on that.
So this is for people who want to use or people who already use but want to be better at using?
It's both.
Okay.
It's a user conference. So
Okay.
we'll have users there who will be presenting how they've used GIS. And we also have users there who want to learn the latest is technology. So there are always updates. So our internal team as well as our international team, we have international presenters as well. We will be giving the latest updates for the technology. But as Loretta mentioned before, one of the users, for example, we have BL, they'll be presenting. We have Ministry of Health, they'll be talking about the Regional Malaria Elimination Initiative, how they're using GIS to support that initiative. We have the Ministry of Natural Resources presenting, and we go back to conservation, where we have Coastal Zone Management presenting, agriculture industry, and we could go on and on. We have Sirdi with the sugar research, so they'll be presenting too. And so as you can see, we're going through the list of presenters, and it gives you a better understanding of how GIS is being used in the country in almost
Nice.
all industries.
Temperature patterns. That
Yes.
should be interesting.
This is Mr. Tench, I think like his fourth presentation with
Yeah.
us, because even though he's an entrepreneur now,
Yeah.
he keeps on with it, and he's presenting on the weather patterns.
Yeah.
We had an extreme cold in January, and so that sparked his interest as to why this was happening, and he submitted a beautiful abstract. We're excited to see that presentation.
We didn't get a sneak peek?
And we have our international partners coming in
Yes.
as well. We
Yeah.
have the big guys of satellite imagery, Digital Globe coming. We have
Wow.
Airbus. I mean, two of like Esri's big imagery partners, they're going to be here. We have Bad Elf, which does GPS devices. So and Esri partners coming as well. So it's a beautiful blend. And we just don't want Belizeans to miss out. That's why we have a free registration package. You don't have to pay $200 for a standard. You could just register for free.
In terms of private sector usage, because I've heard you mention 2 government departments, BL, which is a corporate entity. How far are we in terms of usage for the private sector? I mean, for like private usage, not private sector, private usage.
What do you mean private use?
In terms of, I know in States, for example, you jump in a car, you plug in, I want to go to Walmart, you plug it in, and it basically tells you where to go.
Yeah.
How far are we from completely utilizing that level of technology?
I think on the private level, we're already using it.
Wow.
Because on your phones,
Yes.
you might not realize it, right? But we are already using it because every phone that you buy comes with some GIS feature on it,
Yeah.
right? So you have a map on it, right? You might not have the little machine in your car, but now you're talking to your
Yeah.
phone and it tells you where to go,
I've used Google
Right.
Maps in Belize.
right? But
Terrible as that sounds. And it gives me all the directions to get where I need to go.
That is fine because Google, I mean, Esri and Google work together
Yeah.
with their enterprise customers. Came over to Esri because Google had kind of stopped with the enterprise support, so they're on Esri now. So yeah, Google, it's fine,
Yeah.
but you know, Esri is for consumer and more enterprise.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the country's development, we need more people on board, and that is why Esri donates software. So we're hosting this conference. It's not about only selling software, but we're donating and training to help the country to develop.
You said something I think is great because we know oftentimes putting something like this together costs a lot of money, and so the cost of attending is high as well. But what you're doing is you're offering a free entrance so people can go in and see presentations.
Yes.
They just don't get food. They don't get the little
Exactly.
perks that you get at a
Right.
workshop. but you get the education.
Yes,
But
and you'll have to allow us at the end to big up our sponsors
Yeah.
because that's why you can have a free to come, right?
Because this is rare. Usually you
Exactly.
pay what would the price here, the standard price
Exactly.
is 200 for the 2 days.
Exactly.
And 100 for 1 day. And
Yes.
it's, somebody may be interested but not want to invest or can't invest at this
Exactly.
time. So talk to us about these particular packages that you've put together.
Okay, so like we mentioned, there's the free, where you get a conference packet and you also get to attend all the sessions. So you hear all the presentations and so forth. However, you might not have the chance to do the networking. And sometimes we overlook it. Over a luncheon, persons make such important decisions, so you could miss that. But if, like you said, it's if you can afford that. But for the standard package, it's for 2 days. It includes a cocktail reception. So we have live entertainment, we have good food. We will be at the Biltmore Plaza Hotel. So you just pay for what you get. We have the student educator rate, and I saw some registrations come in yesterday on that. One of the presentations, UB is now doing a certificate course in GIS.
That's
So
big
you
news.
do like 5 courses.
Big news.
Because as a country, we've had 1 course at our national university. They're doing 5 courses in GIS now, and you get a
Nice.
certification. So more students are seeing the importance of it, as oftentimes us as a distributor, companies will call us and say, who do you know that can fill this job position? Because these are the requirements. And so we're beginning to see that we're trying to lessen the gap, because the school is doing the preparation now, and so students are more prepared for the workforce. So the student educator is an important one we want persons to focus on.
And
So we
don't
give a little discount there.
All right, and then you can do half day and
Yes.
of course. So to be very clear, if you go and you don't pay, you're doing the free package, you
Yes.
only hear the presentations. But that's a lot.
Yes,
That's
that's a lot.
fantastic.
I'm sure we'll give you a little coffee, and so we're not too exact. We're not too
You
exact.
won't wear like a special pin that says no coffee or water.
No, we won't do that.
So it is, but I have to say, because that's really innovative. We don't tend to see that very often, and we know, like I said, maybe I only have 2 hours free for the day,
Yes.
and that's all I can
Correct.
pop in for.
Yes.
So
Correct.
you have an
That is it.
option.
Yes,
Yeah.
and later on this week, we'll do the detailed agenda with
Okay.
time and room. So, business people are very busy, but you know what? I'm in the conservation department, and I want to see these 3 presentations. I'll be there for those.
Yeah.
We have
Okay.
Mr. Lindsay Belize. He'll be
Wow.
presenting right on the Guatemalan claims and the use of GIS to quantify it. And we're excited about that.
What time is that?
All right, so tomorrow,
Yes.
tomorrow
Yes.
we're releasing the agenda.
Yes.
That's what Fallon is saying. We
Yes.
release the agenda. It really comes out like we released the speakers last week,
Yeah.
but tomorrow we'd have the details, the room, and so you'll say, okay, check. Like Marlene said, you go for a half day or 2 hours.
Yeah.
And, so it's a long list of interesting presentations.
I could imagine.
We just want Belizeans to come.
Yeah.
And really, guys, when we look in the Caribbean, right? Our Caribbean, countries, Jamaica, Barbados, what they're doing. I mean, this is a development platform.
Yeah.
And in Belize, leaders are sending their technicians. Leaders are not coming. No, but they're not coming. It's good, but it's not good enough. You look at these people out in the Caribbean, our countries like us. The leaders go. They're the visionary. They have to take their teams. And I've been saying this on radio shows and for several years now. We're saying, leaders, bring your team. Whenever they see something like this, they send their technician. Okay, approve, send the technician.
But go along.
Yeah, it's a decision-making tool. So
And see-
you're part of the decision-making.
Look at that, Dr. Sankat from the
Yeah. Well, the
from
challenge is
University of-
because even if I'm a technician and I'm equipped at skills, I have to then go back to my office and sell it
Exactly.
to somebody who may not understand or haven't seen what I've seen in terms of capacity. So
And the
this is,
people talking too, like
Yeah.
Dr. Sankat from the UB talking about the certificate in GIS program. This is a big deal, a 1-year certificate program. UB is responding to the need and realizing that this technology is important. You have the head of the Statistical Institute in Aruba. He's our keynote, Dr. Ruth Derricks. All right, he's going to be doing an awesome presentation.
You have to big up your sponsors because this is big.
Exactly. That's why I said earlier, I don't want to forget our sponsors because they make all of this, help to make us make this happen, definitely.
First and foremost, our diamond sponsor, Diginet. You know, BTEL has always been with us, but this year it's DigiNet. That's what we're branding it as. And we also have silver sponsors such as Ministry of Education, we have BEL, we have Full Tech Systems, and we have Niche.
Okay. So when does it take place so we can mark it down on our... We know tomorrow we have to check the website to see who's...
Yes.
So
So
what date should we mark out?
1 week from tomorrow, next week, Wednesday, it starts at 8:30 a.m. sharp
Okay.
at the Biltmore, and it goes for 2 days.
Okay.
And the important thing is to register, right?
Where do you register?
We register right on the website. We have a register button right there. I think
On the homepage and on the presenter's page.
Yeah.
Exactly. On the
So you
homepage, just
register
button
through the
right there.
website?
Yes.
Can you also pay through the website?
No.
Okay.
We're not doing payment through the website. It's online banking now. You could
Okay.
just do it, and we send you the
All right.
instructions.
Excellent.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I'm considering starting a business of self-driving cars in the next 5 years, I should be at this conference.
Yes.
You know, my son is working on an SBA paper on his self-driving cars. He's all caught up with the self-driving cars.
It's a new thing.
Yeah.
That requires everybody else to follow the laws
Yes.
of the road. I don't know
Yes.
about that. But this is, you know, I love when we see Belizeans embracing technology that is available to us. And so it really is a great opportunity. Kudos to you in putting together a package where it can be accessible to people who can't commit to 2 days, but if you can, and if you have been using and want to be even better at your use of GIS, then you definitely want to be there for 2 days. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
One last plug.
Yes.
We are inviting leaders, managers, decision makers to come and hear how you can launch a location strategy. Because in business in Belize, you're not exposed. You're like, what's a location strategy?
Yeah,
You go
what
in
is
the
a
US
location
and you
strategy?
go out there, it's like, how are you using location for game-changing insights, for decision making, to take your business to the next level? You have all this data sitting on these expensive servers, and your guys are out there distributing, selling, and your business is, you're doing agriculture, and you don't have a location strategy. Right? So we want to talk to leaders. We have a very important session with one of our senior managers from Esri to share with leaders. So it's not about a technician thing, right? Your managers, your decision makers come.
So what you're
participate.
saying is it will be user friendly for non-technology people.
Of course.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
That
Because
is
when you start with some of the conversations, I think that's why people send their technicians. They assume, oh, I don't know what that is, but you'll understand it. So it will be very user friendly, and you'll see for yourself in the presentations the practical use.
And you know, we're excited because we're Belizeans. At the end of the day, we're always saying, listen, it's not all about money. Yes, we have to pay the bills. But for us at the office, we're like, sure, you know, we want to see Belize, see Belize develop. We go to these conferences and we see, you know, our neighbors doing all this awesome stuff. And we're here with the same training and knowledge, but people are not everybody's responding, right? So you'll see the companies who are responding and what they're doing to achieve their strategic objectives with GIS.
All right. Well, ladies, this sounds really interesting. Once again, it takes place next week, Wednesday and Thursday in Belize City at the Biltmore Plaza. Check out the website, gis.com.bz, to find out more about the conference and also register online. Thank you for sharing the details with us today.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take our final break. And when we come back, we'll have our wrap up. So stay tuned.